Have you ever looked at something and thought, this doesn't belong here? This is the Osirion. Most people have never heard of it, but it might be the strangest structure in all of ancient Egypt.
Beneath the pyramids and temples are clues that suggest remarkable engineering, hidden systems, and mysteries still not fully explained. From massive granite structures to underground water channels, these discoveries raise unsettling questions about what the Egyptians truly understood. Could advanced technology have existed thousands of years ago, hidden beneath the sands? The secrets under the pyramids may point to a forgotten chapter of civilization, one that could change how we see human history. The Osirian Enigma. Deep in the ancient city of Abydos, some 350 miles south of the Great Pyramid of Giza, lies a structure that defies conventional understanding. The Osirian temple stands apart from typical Egyptian architecture, not just in design, but in the mystery surrounding its origin and purpose. Unlike the linear, rectangular shape of most Egyptian temples, the Osirian forms a complex L shape, sparking debate over why it was constructed this way. This anomaly raises questions about the builder's intentions and hints at knowledge beyond what we attribute to the Pharaoh-era civilization. The size and fabric of the Osirian are staggering. Its massive blocks of pink granite, some weighing as much as 100 tons, were quarried from Aswan, nearly 200 miles away. Transporting these enormous stones across such a distance, then positioning them so precisely in a desert setting, presents a monumental logistical puzzle. Traditional views credit a primitive toolset to the Egyptians, making this feat all the more perplexing. How could such immense stones have been moved and assembled without evidence of advanced machinery? This puzzle deepens when we examine the building's complexity. The Osirian's roof, crafted with a double-layered system over 12 distinct chambers, showcases a level of architectural understanding rarely seen in contemporaneous structures. The precision in stacking massive stones with interlocking wedges implies sophisticated engineering knowledge absent from historical accounts of the period. Granite, far harder to sculpt than the more commonly used limestone, dominates the temple's construction, suggesting technological prowess beyond standard ancient Egyptian capabilities. Adding to the mystery, the Osirian bears no inscriptions, hieroglyphics, or Egyptian artwork. Not a single mark links it conclusively to the known civilization. Egyptian temples and monuments were traditionally adorned and renovated over centuries, accumulating layers of art and writing that chronicled their history. The total absence of such evidence at Osirion suggests either a lost civilization or an era predating pharaonic Egypt. What's more, the temple's subterranean location, nearly 15 feet below present ground level, is unique among Egyptian monuments. Some researchers propose that this buried state indicates the Osirian predates the natural accumulation of desert sand and soil over thousands of years, potentially existing well before the rise of dynastic Egypt. Surrounding limestone shows signs of water erosion, which some experts date back to the end of the last ice age, implying a much wetter regional climate when Osirian was constructed. Modern seismic technologies reveal that what lies above is only a fraction of the full structure. The temple's foundations extend at least another 50 feet below ground, housing hidden chambers still submerged and unexplored due to persistent flooding. These underground cavities could hold priceless secrets, hidden knowledge, or forgotten relics awaiting discovery. Archaeologist James Westerman dedicated decades to studying the Osirian.
James Westerman and his team tried to pump the water out of the site to study the submerged parts. Pumping at 500 gallons of water per minute, however,
Even pumping water out at a rate of 500 gallons per minute, only to find the water level replenishing faster than it could be removed. Westerman's research pointed to a water source emerging mysteriously from within the structure itself, a phenomenon unheard of in desert geology. Water somehow exits from inside this structure, he said, and that is unique. There shouldn't be water, especially pressurized water, emerging here. In recent years, advanced analysis of the water's chemical and physical properties confirmed its uniqueness. It does not originate from local groundwater or the nearby Nile River, but comes from an unknown subterranean source, under pressure, and with a distinct chemical signature. Remarkably, Westerman noted personal health benefits after consuming this filtered Osirian water, including improved eyesight, suggesting that the water, and possibly the site itself, may possess extraordinary qualities. Even more intriguing is the water's temperature, which remains unusually warm despite being encased in cold subterranean rock. This anomaly challenges fundamental thermodynamics and suggests an unknown energy source heating the water from below. The Osirian is more than a monument. It is an enigma of ancient engineering, hidden power, and lost technology awaiting fuller understanding. The secrets hidden beneath the Osirian open doors to broader questions about ancient Egyptian technology, especially when we look at the incredible precision found in granite craftsmanship elsewhere. Granite precision craftsmanship. Granite is one of the hardest stones on Earth to carve, and yet ancient Egyptian artisans worked it with astonishing skill. Artifacts and structures carved from this durable material exhibit a precision that appears impossible given the tools traditionally believed to be available, mainly copper and bronze chisels. This precision suggests the use of advanced techniques or tools that have long been forgotten. The fine, smooth surfaces, perfect angles, and complex internal cavities visible in granite relics exceed the capabilities of primitive craftsmanship. Notable examples include the massive granite sarcophagi from Saqqara, each carved from a single block weighing up to 70 tons. Their interiors are polished to mirror-like perfection, with perfectly flat surfaces and sharp 90-degree angles, a level of accuracy that challenges modern stone-cutting methods. The sheer scale and refinement hint at techniques far beyond the simple hand tools Egyptian craftsmen are believed to have used. Scientists and engineers are drawn to the intricate grooves and drill holes found in these granite pieces. Many of these features resemble modern saw marks and precision tooling made using diamond-tipped equipment or high-speed rotary drills, none of which figure into ancient Egypt's conventional technological history. For example, some holes show smooth, spiraling cuts, consistent with advanced core drilling rather than manual boring. These signs raise the possibility of lost technologies or even external knowledge once possessed by the ancients. Further puzzles arise from the uniformity of the cuts and the symmetrical design of the stonework. Marks found on granite blocks in museums and archaeological sites show an astonishing consistency that would require both advanced machinery and profound understanding of mechanical principles. The absence of tool marks from chisels or hammers suggests the use of abrasive or mechanized cutting methods unknown for that era. Scientists have attempted to recreate these ancient works using copper tools and abrasives, but have repeatedly failed to match the sharpness, polish, and precision observed. This raises critical questions. Did a precursor civilization unlock machining secrets now lost? Could external influences, perhaps from forgotten ancient cultures, have introduced these methods? The extraordinary craftsmanship found in granite thus challenges the chronology and narrative of ancient technological progress. This evidence is not isolated. Large-scale architecture, such as the Great Pyramid itself, incorporates granite elements precisely cut and positioned with jaw-dropping exactitude. Similarly, smaller artifacts, such as stone bowls and intricate vessels, reveal techniques of shaping and finishing that far exceed known Egyptian methodologies. These objects collectively testify to a heritage of advanced stonemasonry, demanding a rethink of ancient technological limits. The precision in granite work also extends to sonic properties. Some granite chambers and sarcophagi have acoustic characteristics that suggest they were designed with sound resonance in mind, an advanced concept rarely attributed to ancient builders. This intersection of engineering, artistry, and possible acoustic function hints at a civilization with multidimensional technology, including aesthetic and scientific sophistication. Granite precision craftsmanship becomes a tangible clue to the existence of technologies and skills erased from our historical understanding. It beckons us to reconsider the role of lost knowledge in shaping ancient Egyptian monuments and where such technologies might have originated. This growing body of evidence finds a dramatic architectural counterpart in the Great Pyramid, whose hidden complexities hint at even greater mysteries. The Great Pyramid's hidden complexities. The Great Pyramid of Giza remains one of the world's most studied yet least understood structures. Built around 4,500 years ago, it is frequently celebrated for its incredible size and durability. But its true marvel lies in architectural features that suggest knowledge far beyond what the ancient Egyptians are credited with. From its alignment and construction to its internal chambers and passageways, the pyramid defies simple explanations linked to primitive tools or straightforward construction methods. One of the pyramid's most striking features is its near-perfect alignment with the cardinal points, north, south, east, and west, within a margin of error so slight it puzzles astronomers and engineers alike. Accomplishing this precision today requires specialized instruments and mathematical calculations. How ancient builders achieved this without modern technology remains a mystery. The internal structure of the pyramid is equally astonishing. The king's chamber is made of massive granite blocks, carefully placed without mortar, forming a precise, interlocking system. The chamber's granite walls possess acoustical properties that create powerful resonance effects, amplifying sounds and vibrations in ways not fully understood. The sophistication of this design hints at a broader architectural and possibly symbolic purpose beyond serving merely as a tomb. Even more puzzling is the network of narrow shafts extending from the interior chambers to the pyramid's exterior. These shafts are precisely angled and constructed, sometimes too narrow for practical use, leading many to speculate that their function was more complex, possibly related to star alignments, air circulation, or energy transmission. Such design elements point to an advanced conceptual understanding of astronomy and engineering. The pyramid's construction also involved quarrying and moving millions of limestone and granite blocks, many weighing several tons, then fitting them together with unprecedented accuracy. The precision with which the stones fit, some joints are reportedly less than 1/10 of a millimeter wide, continues to baffle experts and casts doubt on the sufficiency of simple tools like copper chisels and wooden sledges. The discovery of evidence of molten or fused stone within some of the pyramid's blocks suggests technologies capable of heating and shaping rock, a process not traditionally associated with the Egyptians of that era. This raises questions about lost technologies or external influences that could have introduced such methods. Beyond construction, the pyramid's location carries symbolic significance. Positioned at the intersection of the planet's landmass midpoints, it aligns not just with stars, but with the Earth itself in remarkable ways. This level of geographic and astronomical understanding is astounding for a civilization supposedly limited by its era's technology. Every aspect of the Great Pyramid, from its stone precision and geometric design to acoustic features and celestial relationships, reveals layers of complexity that challenge the accepted historical narrative. These marvels suggest not just human ingenuity, but knowledge that could only have been transmitted or sustained across generations through advanced technological means. Combining this architectural wonder with discoveries like those at Osirian and the granite artifacts frames a picture of an ancient world rich with yet-to-be-understood technology. The question remains, where did this advanced knowledge come from? And how was it lost? As we delve deeper, we find whispers of ancient electric phenomena challenging everything we think about early Egyptian science. Evidence of ancient electricity. Among the most puzzling and intriguing aspects of ancient Egyptian technology is the possibility that these civilization builders understood and harnessed electrical phenomena long before modern science recognized electricity. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence comes from the so-called Dendera light reliefs found in the Temple of Hathor at Dendera.
Dendera light bulbs, one of the myths of the ancient world. That these ancient reliefs in the Dendera Temple of Hathor are in fact depicting ancient light bulbs.
These carvings depict objects that strikingly resemble incandescent light bulbs, complete with cables and filaments, suggesting a knowledge of electrical illumination. Although mainstream archaeology tends to dismiss these as symbolic or purely religious in nature, the detailed imagery continues to raise provocative questions about lost technologies. Alongside these reliefs, the presence of the Djed pillar, a widespread Egyptian symbol often interpreted as representing stability and continuity, has been theorized to represent an ancient electrical device or battery. The pillar's distinctive shape, with its stacked horizontal bars and vertical column, bears a curious resemblance to components of modern electrical systems, such as capacitors or energy storage devices. This symbolic link hints that the Egyptians may have encoded technical knowledge in their religious iconography, blending science with spirituality in ways we are only beginning to understand. Some researchers draw parallels between the Djidjid pillar and the wireless energy concepts developed much later by Nikola Tesla. Tesla's experiments with transmitting power without wires reveal striking conceptual similarities to the idea of a continuously flowing energy source, which ancient Egyptians might have envisioned symbolically through the Djed. This opens a fascinating door to interpreting ancient Egyptian artifacts as clues to a sophisticated electrical engineering tradition, lost to time. The mystery deepens with the discovery of the so-called Baghdad Battery, artifacts from a different region but dating to ancient times that function as galvanic cells. These clay jars containing copper and iron components could produce small electrical currents, indicating that knowledge of electricity, even if crude, was not unprecedented in antiquity. The possibility that knowledge of electrical principles existed in several cultures challenges the idea that electricity was discovered solely in modern times. Additional support for ancient Egyptian electrical prowess comes from detailed analysis of certain artifacts that appear to have been designed for conducting or storing electrical charge. For instance, ingeniously carved conductive materials, copper wiring, and insulator-like designs suggest an attempt to control or harness electric energy. While these objects do not amount to machines in the modern sense, their existence implies a conceptual grasp of electrical properties. The electrical theory of the Dendera light and related artifacts proposes that ancient Egyptians might have developed a form of natural or artificial lighting system, potentially explaining the lack of soot or smoke traces in temples where open flames would have been expected. This theory also accounts for the highly polished granite and stone surfaces that appear free from combustion residue, as if illuminated by some non-combustive energy source. Skeptics argue that these interpretations are speculative and that such reliefs and symbols were purely mythological or ceremonial. However, the precision with which electrical components appear to be depicted suggests a possible shared technological tradition, or at least an advanced symbolic language that encoded real-world engineering knowledge. The debate remains open, encouraging deeper examination of ancient iconography through the lens of science. Moreover, modern scientists have reconstructed models based on these ancient designs, attempting to replicate the possible function of such devices. Experimental replicas of the Baghdad Battery have successfully generated small electric charges, lending credibility to the notion that ancient civilizations experimented with electric phenomena, even if on a primitive scale. These findings compel us to consider electricity as part of a broader prehistoric technological repertoire. If electricity played even a marginal role in ancient Egypt, it would force a radical revision of our understanding of their scientific achievements. Beyond architectural marvels and artistic mastery, Egyptians might have wielded a form of natural power that shaped how their civilization thrived. This realization brings us face to face with the tantalizing possibility that our ancestors were far more technologically advanced than previously thought. The mysteries of ancient electrical knowledge intertwine closely with the sophisticated hydraulic engineering evident near the pyramid complexes, revealing a civilization deeply connected to both elemental forces and practical innovation. Advanced hydraulic engineering. Water management has always been central to Egyptian civilization, and nowhere is this more astonishing than in the complex hydraulic systems discovered beneath and around pyramid sites. Far from the simple irrigation canals linked to the Nile's floods, these systems exhibit an extraordinary level of design that suggests deep understanding of hydraulics and fluid dynamics. Intricate networks of channels, reservoirs, and possibly even dams have been found, arranged to control the flow and pressure of water with remarkable precision. One of the most remarkable examples is the Osirian's subterranean water system discussed earlier. Beyond being a temple, it functions as a highly engineered hydraulic complex with interconnected basins and channels designed for managing and filtering water under pressure. This degree of sophistication surpasses what is known about water management in contemporaneous Egyptian dynasties, implying the involvement of advanced engineering principles. The physical layout of these hydraulic systems shows an acute awareness of water dynamics. Channels are carefully carved to optimize flow rates and reduce turbulence, while basins employ sloped surfaces and barriers to regulate volume and pressure. These features would require not only theoretical knowledge, but also practical experience in fluid mechanics, knowledge that remains impressive even by today's standards. Some studies of pyramid complexes suggest that water may have been used for purposes beyond agriculture, potentially involved in ceremonial or technological functions. For example, water-filled chambers or moats could have contributed to stabilizing temperature and humidity within sacred spaces, or even played a role in acoustic effects. This intersection of utility, ritual, and engineering reflects a holistic approach to design. The logistics of sourcing and maintaining such hydraulic systems are equally incredible. Considering the arid natural environment, the persistence and renewal of water sources beneath pyramid sites hint at subterranean aquifers or engineered reservoirs connected through the elaborate channels. Maintaining these systems would require advanced knowledge of geology and hydrology, showing a civilization adept at managing scarce resources. Further testament to hydraulic expertise is found in the complex channel networks around the Giza Plateau, which may have played a role in transporting the massive stone blocks used for pyramid construction. Some scholars speculate that the Egyptians employed canals to float heavy stones closer to the construction sites, reducing the physical burden of transport. If true, this would demonstrate an innovative integration of water engineering with architectural ambition. The precision and complexity of these water systems beg the question, were these hydraulic features isolated achievements or remnants of a wider lost technological tradition? Their existence challenges the assumption that ancient Egyptians relied solely on manual labor and rudimentary tools, pointing instead to a society that mastered sophisticated environmental engineering. Ancient texts and reliefs, even when limited, hint at the sacred nature of water and its integral role in sustaining life and power. The engineering feats visible today suggest that water was not only a life necessity, but also a controlled, harnessed energy, perhaps even part of a larger technological paradigm, including electricity and mechanical systems. This remarkable intertwining of water management with monumental construction underscores the possibility that the ancient Egyptians were the inheritors, or maybe the continuers, of a forgotten era of advanced technology. These insights naturally lead us to consider the unresolved mystery of how massive stones were transported and positioned with such uncanny precision. Unexplained megalithic transport. The question of how countless massive stones were transported and precisely arranged to build the pyramids and other monumental structures remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Each block can weigh anywhere from several tons to over 80 tons, and yet they fit together with such accuracy that even a sheet of paper cannot be inserted between many joints. The sheer scale of this feat suggests a mastery of logistics and engineering far beyond what we credit to the tools and methods available at the time. Traditional explanations lean heavily on manpower, wooden sledges, and sheer brute force, sometimes assisted by lubricated ramps or rolling logs. However, these methods struggle to account for both the volume of stone moved and the precision of placement. The length and complexity of the pyramid complexes would require an extraordinary level of organization and resources seldom matched in human history. Recent studies consider the possibility of water transport playing a critical role. The discovery of ancient canals and waterways around Giza hints that stones could have been floated closer to the building sites, drastically reducing the effort required. Such hydraulic engineering combined with megalithic transport would have been revolutionary, blending precise water management with massive physical manipulation. Yet, even with water transport, scientists and historians are left puzzling over how the stones were lifted and set in place with incredible precision. The use of cranes, pulleys, or other lifting devices is proposed but lacks archaeological evidence. The scale of the blocks and their placements suggest techniques that might have included advanced levers, counterweights, or even now-lost mechanical innovations. Some researchers think the Egyptians, or maybe the people before them, had access to tech or knowledge that let them move massive stones with more ease than we expect. That could mean things like unusually strong tool materials, mechanical devices, or even electromagnetic tricks, helping with levitation or movement. It's all speculative, of course, but it does tug at older ideas and makes you reconsider what ancient teams were really capable of. Then there's the actual formation and cutting. Marks seen on certain granite blocks seem to match what you'd get from saw blades or rotary-style tools, and that's hard to replicate using copper or bronze instruments. So it feels like, aside from transport, the shaping involved a kind of sophistication that kinda looks close to modern machining, and that points, at least in some theories, to a forgotten technical lineage. Also, the construction itself has those stubborn little surprises. Perfectly level foundation stones, courtyards, and interior chambers inside the pyramids show architectural precision, not just strength, but a real grasp of geometry, measurement, and careful planning. The alignments have stayed reliable for thousands of years, which is both durable and honestly it still makes people stare. Even so, the picture of a huge workforce run with extreme efficiency is only partial, because the big gaps remain. How exactly did builders reach that level of accuracy in quarrying, dragging, and positioning enormous blocks using tools that were supposed to be primitive? The logistics can feel as complex as modern industrial efforts, so it leaves the question open. Maybe some lost knowledge, or a quieter set of techniques, was involved. This pressing enigma leads us further down the hidden passageways beneath the pyramids, where secret tunnels and lost chambers may hold clues to the answers we seek. Secret tunnels and lost chambers. Beneath the sprawling complexes of the Giza Plateau lies a mysterious subterranean world that has both fascinated and perplexed archaeologists for decades. Seismic surveys and exploratory studies have revealed extensive networks of tunnels, chambers, and voids hidden beneath the surface, many still inaccessible and largely unexplored. These underground structures suggest the existence of a vast underground city or technological hub once integral to the pyramid complexes. The Great Pyramid itself has long been known to harbor hidden chambers, some discovered only recently with advanced scanning technology. These include cavities adjacent to known burial chambers and shafts that do not align with visible entrances or exits, raising questions about their original purpose. Such spaces might have served functions that go well beyond mere burial, possibly housing machinery, energy conduits, or archives of lost knowledge. Historical texts add layers of intrigue to these subterranean mysteries. Ancient writers like Herodotus described sprawling underground labyrinths near the pyramids, filled with halls and records of profound wisdom. Though dismissed by some as myth, modern findings of hidden corridors and chambers lend credence to the possibility that some of these ancient accounts were based on real structures. More recent geophysical surveys, led by researchers like John Anthony West and Robert Schoch, used seismic tomography to map voids beneath and around the Great Sphinx and Pyramid Complex. They identified tunnels and vast chambers, including under the Sphinx's paw, suggesting an extensive subterranean architecture predating the surface monuments. These finds hint at a pre-dynastic civilization possessing architectural skills and underground engineering far more advanced than previously acknowledged. What lies in these lost chambers remains largely speculative, but tantalizing. Some hypothesize these spaces contain advanced equipment or energy generators, hallmarks of a forgotten era of innovation. Others imagine they hold priceless artifacts, libraries of lost knowledge, or even secret burial vaults for an earlier, more advanced society. Access to these underground realms is limited, often restricted for preservation or political reasons. Official archaeology has only scratched the surface, while alternative researchers continue advocating for thorough exploration. The secrecy only deepens the allure and mystery surrounding what truly lies beneath. The engineering involved in building such underground labyrinths calls for high-level surveying, structural knowledge, and an understanding of materials behavior under weight, skills consistent with the sophistication seen elsewhere on the plateau. The question remains whether this knowledge originated within the civilization credited for the pyramids or came from an even earlier source. Echoes of ancient processes resonate within these chambers. Their acoustic properties, construction materials, and spatial design hint at purposes possibly connected to sound, energy concentration, or ritual functions far exceeding typical tomb preparations. The links between underground design and surface monumentality suggest a holistic system combining technology, spirituality, and power. The scope of these hidden networks challenges the common perception of ancient Egypt as a purely surface-level civilization. Whatever secrets they hold, these subterranean passages beckon us to reconsider human history and technological progression, not as a linear story, but as a complex web of lost knowledge and rediscovery. From concealed tunnels to massive stones, the legacy of the pyramids invites us to rethink what we know and how we define civilization itself. Reassessing ancient civilization. The discoveries under the pyramids, across the Giza Plateau, and inside ancient Egyptian artifacts kind of throw shade on the usual tale about human progress. Rather than a smooth, slow climb in technology, these clues seem to hint that ancient Egypt might have taken in know-how from an older, very advanced culture. The accuracy of granite cutting, those puzzling underground corridors, the water arrangements, and even possible indicators of electrical understanding all point to abilities way beyond what most historical accounts give credit to. These works and objects seem to show real control of engineering, hydraulics, acoustics, plus overall design, and it's still confusing. Even today, this possible turn changes how we look at the Egyptians. They may not have been the very first source of all those achievements, but more like the keepers of older wisdom, passed along through time and no longer easily traceable. If that knowing was later lost, forgotten, or deliberately hidden, then modern history may only keep a piece of the bigger human story.
The legendary city of Tanis, with a special history once lost for many centuries, as we explore the megalithic ruins and captivating history of this remarkable ancient city.
Also, natural disasters could explain a lot of the gaps. Old cities such as Tanis have signs of destruction, and that kind of damage could wipe out records, tools, and even whole neighborhoods. What still remains, pyramids, temples, underground tunnels, plus assorted artifacts, feels more like fragments from a wider legacy than the full picture. These mysteries nudge us to question what gets called accepted history with curiosity and a kind of humility. New instruments today, like seismic imaging along with chemical analysis, keep showing fresh details under ancient locations. Every find doesn't just add facts, it slowly reshapes what earlier people might have understood. In the end, ancient Egypt asks us to rethink progress itself. The pyramids aren't simply relics from yesterday, but maybe keys to disregarded knowledge that could reshape how we understand human civilization as a whole. Today, we've uncovered how ancient Egypt's mysteries challenge our understanding of history and technology. From underground wonders to lost engineering marvels, the past is richer and more complex than we imagined. If you found this exploration fascinating, please like and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. Your curiosity fuels the quest for discovery.